What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of B is for Build. I'm Chris, and after buying the shop here, a lot of people commented and said they'd love to see an episode of me cleaning up the shop and properly organizing things and getting it situated. I thought, what better thing to do than give it a little bit of a tidy up? Oh wait, I got a much better thing to do. How about I wide body the 2016 STI that's out front? Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that instead. Check this out, this car is official hot boy. This badass 2016 STI was dropped off to me by Casey at my WRX channel. Here's his information. I'll also throw some links in the description. He basically hit me up and he was like, hey man, when you're in between builds, you want to wide body my car? And I saw the car and I was like, yes I do. So we got this thing in the shop for the next few days and it's time to throw a wide body kit on it. So this is going to be a kind of a tutorial on, generally speaking, just how to wide body a car, and in more detail, exactly how to wide body this car. Let's go ahead and get it flipped around here and set up in the shop. Shout out to the guys over at BendPack. They're the makers of this quick jack that you guys have seen me use a lot on the channel. As soon as they saw that I got the shop and I actually owned it, they hit me up and they're like, what, do you want our new low profile lift? And I measured the ceiling. My ceiling's not even 8 feet tall, so I can't fit a full-on car lift in here. But I actually really prefer these rather than the 2-post lift, because now I have nothing blocking the side of the door, and I can obviously put it anywhere in the shop. Like I decided to park it sideways so I could have good angles working over here. And nothing's blocking the doors or anything like that. So it's pretty handy. I really do like it. I might even prefer it. Anyways, so getting into this wide body, I need to go ahead and start breaking some stuff down, and then I'll show you guys the kit. So I'm gonna pop off the wheels all the way around and the mud guards all the way around, and then I'll pull out some kit pieces. All right, now that we got that stuff out of the way, let's take a look at the car and the kit and what else needs to come off the car to get the kit on. So this is a Mint Rider kit. MNT Rider is the company. The owner of this car, Casey, picked it out. I've never heard of the company before, but it is not a cheap kit by any means. And they make a lot of kits for Subarus and stuff like that. So it's 2 pieces in the front and 3 pieces in the rear. I don't like the design of the rear, and I'll talk about that later, but the 2 pieces in the front are pretty chill. This big piece right here is gonna cover up pretty much this whole area right here. It gets very close to here and very close to the headlight, which I think is a great design. It is going to get in the way of that lower canard though, so I'm going to need to pull that off. But I told the owner, Casey, I think once he gets that thing painted and mounted back on, he should go ahead and remount that lower canard and it'll look awesome. And then it has this tuck in here to show your tire and stuff like that. That is basically goes into this piece. That's kind of a visual cue taken from the Rocket Bunny styling. So what we're going to need to go ahead and do is happens to be a separate piece. It's not part of the fender, and we'll go ahead and remove that piece. And then I believe that the kit actually, it looks like it tucks in right here into the side skirt. So that'll be pretty chill. I'm excited to test fit that up and everything else like that. And like I said, I'll talk about the rear when we get there. There's just a design around the door arch that I really don't like, but it is what it is. It's also not my car or my kit, so, you know. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do now is get that lower canard off on both sides and go ahead and figure out, this could be tricky, but I'm gonna go ahead and figure out how to remove this piece. I'm being very, very meticulous and very careful with everything because it ain't my car. All right, we got that down and bare. So interestingly enough, this piece is not actually kind of a structural piece. I thought, like my Evora, that the fender would bolt into the top of that and the bottom of this would bolt into I don't know, the side skirt or something. This is actually just an ornamental piece, and it's got pop clips there on the top, in the middle, and down at the bottom. It also has a pop clip that basically provides a bracket for the side skirt to snap into. So it's kind of as simple as just popping it off if you're following along at home. And then your side skirt down here, it has a little extra clippy right here that's gonna stick out. We're probably gonna have to trim that out. And then it's got one other pop clip that pops it and holds itself into the fender. So this is the piece of the fender that's gonna need to get a lot of it yapped off of it. It's gonna have to get cut all the way probably around here to make way for the fender overflare. So I think now that we know that, it is actually, geez, is it already that time? It might be time to start cutting, start drawing some lines and think about cutting these things. You guys know, obviously, measure like 5 times, cut once, and then, you know, you can always cut more off, but you can't put more back on. So am I really just giving you guys like dad advice right now? It's time to cut this shit. Okay, now that I've cut this piece out from right here, we clearly need to get rid of some of this waterproofing right here, but we can test fit our over fender now, and it'll slide into that void, and it kind of comes down here. Now you're gonna see it's actually laying down well over the headlight area. It's gonna need to actually kind of be pressed down and come out over there. But once I hold these things right about like here, it's starting to look pretty good. So the next step for me is a bit of a nervous one. I'm going to go ahead and take off the protective taping here and only tape off the headlight, and then I'm going to test fit this on here one more time and draw my cut line of where I'm going to go ahead and cut out from this fender and the front bumper to allow the wheel to go up into here a little bit more. Okay, when selecting how high to cut this thing up, it really depends on how someone wants their ride height. I went ahead and measured based on where his ride height was before versus the inner fender well, the top part of it underneath here, and then I went ahead and added about another ½ an inch so he could drop it down another ½ an inch if he wants to as well for his ride height. Now, the other thing to mention is all cars obviously are going to have kind of a topping out point under here as well, and there's no point in cutting the fender like say way up here. If the car tops out right here, there's no point because he obviously can't set his wheel that high. Plus I think the car would be laying on the ground at that point. So there's a couple ways of measuring it out, but that's the way I like to do it. And then I obviously just made one clean radius across. So it's time to bust out that saw and get this fender cut up. All right, there's no going back now. This baby's chopped up. Couple of tips on this. If you're using a fender body saw like I am, go ahead and keep the angle of the blade pretty shallow, kind of running more parallel with the body panel rather than really steep. Because if you're going really steep, your blade's gonna be jumping into the car really far. And there are always important things, almost always important things inside these fenders that you wanna be careful with. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's lots of wiring underneath this car's fender. So you want to be careful with that. The other thing is when you get to the point where the fender meets up with the bumper, there's on almost every single car, there's going to be a bracket there that's going to help hold everything together. And that's that bracket right there. And what I advise doing is that's when you get a real steep angle and just gouge that blade in there and cut right through both of them. Now you're going to lose a little bit, but we only lost that much of the bracket when we cut it off. So you're not losing that much of it, and then the whole rest of the bracket is there and it survives to hold the fender to the bumper nice and sturdy. So that's really good. You want to lose as little of that bracket as you possibly can. So now that that's all cut, I got to jump over to the other side and then we'll talk about the waterproofing. Okay, we got this other side cut to match. I went ahead and did all the measurements and all the lines exactly the same as on the other side, just so it's nice and even. Now let's talk about the waterproofing, same thing. So when I talked to Casey about doing this project for his car, I said, I'll wide body it, but I'm not gonna waterproof it. And that's because it's pretty technical and very, very time consuming deal. And there's no real, I haven't figured out a really solid way to do it yet. So the deal is you have to cut out this fender liner where it dives down right here because that's where your wheel's gonna wanna go. And then from there, I would assume that you either extend the fender liner, the stock fender liner out to meet with your wide body kit, or you rebuild it all together by yourself. One time when I was in a hurry, we put emu skin right there. That's an option. It holds the water out, but you could use fiberglass maybe as an extension from the fender liner, or I've used metal before, but it's very, very time consuming. And overall, no matter what you use, it's gonna be a pretty time consuming process, and it's a tough one. So I decided, since this isn't my car, I'm not gonna jump into that level of it. So what we're gonna go ahead and do now is just go ahead and cut these fender liners, right? We're gonna keep as much of the waterproofing as we can before he starts to lose space for his wheel. So we're gonna go ahead and, before they start to dive down, we're gonna cut them, and then we'll just cut around here, and then we can pull off this lip part, and at least then his wheel can go up to where we cut the body. All right, so you can see that we just went ahead and pulled out about this much of the fender liner, went ahead and cut it off with a razor blade, and that goes aside. Now the wheel can go right up to about here, which is, I don't know, about a ½ inch away from our cut line on the fender. Hopefully under full compression, that won't even happen. But anyways, next step, we're gonna go ahead and drill the holes and apply the kit. There's a lot of different ways to do that. Basically with everything that we're doing, there's a lot of different ways to do it, but the kits need to be like flexed down onto the body. So if you have it like flush over here, it's normally gonna be hanging off over here. You need some pressure. So I like to do it with 2 people. And the way I like to do it is go ahead and pre-drill all the hole spots on the kit first. So I'm gonna drill out all the little holes on the kit. Then we're gonna lay the kit down on the car and mark with a Sharpie exactly where we wanna drill our holes. And then we'll go ahead and start applying the kit to the car and drilling the holes in the car. I decided to start by drilling these 2 back holes because the alignment of this door panel seems to be the trickiest part on this kit. And then from there, we'll press the kit and drill in all the way towards the headlight. Now, we're using a different type of hardware than normal. This is a rubber rivet type of thing. I don't know what these are called, but basically this rubber piece goes in the larger hole like what I just made on the car. This camera's not wanting to focus. So that kind of just sits in the hole there. You drill a much smaller hole in your actual body pan, or your kit panel, and then let me show you what it looks like when we screw it all together. And when you screw it all down, that's what the top of the Allen head looks like, and then that's what the back looks like. That little rubber thing just like squishes out and holds on. Now I like this method better than the traditional kind of rivet into the aluminum or the steel, and then well, that's it. That's all you have, because you can obviously take your kit on and off this way, but also if you were to hang your kit up on something really hard, I feel like that rubber piece would pull out of the panel before it would just destroy your kit slash panel. So I think it could be a good little safety mechanism too. So we're gonna go ahead and throw 2 of these into these 2 holes that we made right here and here, and then test fit the kit on, and then see how we're lining up, and then we'll start kind of marking off and drilling as we go down the rest of the panel. First 2 on to set the door gap, everything right. Now here's a bummer. The kit basically has like a stopper of fiberglass built in here, but when it stops a good 1/8 of an inch past the actual side skirt. So I'm gonna have to build in some sort of backing so it doesn't come out that far, and that's gonna be a total pain. Other than that though, the fitment is really good. So what we did is, the way the kit works is, if you see this body line right here, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller up to here, and then almost it does eliminate itself up here. So the way the kit works is it comes down, connects in right there, and then it follows this body line down, follows that body line down right here, and opens up a little bit more and more and more and more as it comes down. So what we did was we laid it flat, obviously applied the right amount of pressure, put the kit in the right spot, and then marked all of our next spots to drill. So I'll go ahead and drill those, and we'll test fit this panel all the way, and then we'll go ahead and start marking off the second one. Damn, damn, that is wide. All right, well, we got the first piece officially mounted onto the car. It's looking good. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to that second piece that goes on the front right over there. We got the first side officially done. Now I will say some things, all right, for how expensive this kit is, I think it should be better. We shouldn't have issues like what we're having down here with the spacing. And all overall fitment, it's not terrible, but it's also not great. This is not a super cheap kit, so I'm not overwhelmed with it, but we got it together the right way. I've been looking at reference pictures on their website, which I'll show you right now, and they reflect what we have here. I thought that this body line looked a little bit strange, so it follows the line right through here, and I thought this is kind of sticking out a little bit much, but that's exactly how they have it on their website. So we got a good line through here. I like that line, and a good gap, and so that stuff's all good. So now I'm gonna go ahead and very quickly go do the other side, and that will wrap up the front, except for we have to figure out that little bit there. But drill out all the panels, drill the holes, fit the other side. Side note, we just went ahead to start test fitting the passenger side flare, and I looked down in the wheel well in there. There is a full roll of electrical tape right there. Casey, what are you doing, man? And I'm keeping this, by the way. Yep. Second front fender is on. Now there's a little bit of a gap here. We noticed that these kits are definitely handmade. So this side is not like a 3D model clone of the other side and vice versa. So there are subtle differences, and this piece kind of came from factory, pushing itself out a little bit. And we will go ahead and tomorrow come in from the back here. Well, we're not actually gonna come in from the back. We'll pull the piece off and modify that back piece that pushes it out, shave that down, and that should bring that in there flush. But that is a job for tomorrow. For today, wide and wide. All right, that's where we're gonna end this episode. Before I wrap up, I do wanna say that there's probably gonna be a lot of people already in the comments saying, why would you destroy a car like this and wide body it and cut it up, etc., etc. Everybody deserves the right to do whatever they want with their own car. And Casey wanted to do this with his car. He brought it to me and said, can you help me do this? And I was like, yeah, I'm down to do that. So let's just be respectful of that. When you get your own 2016 STI in hyper blue and like this much awesomeness, you can decide to do whatever you decide to do with it. And yeah, so that's the deal there. What else? Normally I say if you want to help out and support, blah, 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 blah. But you guys had so much support after the last episode that I'm pretty sure that my merchandise shop is 100% sold out. I think so. You can still get the t-shirts because they're shipped through Amazon, so they're not sold out. But apparently I just learned this go around that they don't support countries outside the United States. Shame on you, Amazon. So we're learning, and I'm gonna try and find a better t-shirt merchandiser outlet for the next go around. But let me say this, thank you guys so much, so much from the bottom of my heart for all the support after the last episode. Operation Get My Mama's Money Back is in full effect, and I got a couple cars gonna be sold this weekend. I think things are going. Oh, by the way, if you have emailed me and I haven't answered back, there are people showing up for each of the cars, but that doesn't mean that you're completely lost out chances. They might not get them, and then maybe you'll have a chance to get them. So that's how that's going down. That's about it, guys. So we got the front pretty much nailed. We're gonna do some trimming and some small tweaks on the bottom of the front stuff, and then we're gonna jump into the back, which is pretty cool because it involves a little bit of welding and some other stuff in the next episode, and the 3-piece rears. So look forward to that. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you on the next one. Please remember to like and subscribe. Peace!